talked to this company here called Digital Check. They make these check processing machines, and one of their challenges is what's common in a lot of sort of mature industries where they'd been in this space for 30 years. Their machines had basically been evolved as much as they could. There wasn't that much more smarter that their image technology could have gotten, for example. They had very low margins over years. That margins had been eroded over time. The use of checks was down. There's alternative products out there, you know, like in a lot of mature industries where people have moved on. So there's decreasing sales volume. And this is something that's common in many industries. If you look at the music industry, the photo industry, the ATM industry, they've all matured to a certain point where margins are thin, volumes are huge, and you're in a case where it's like innovate or die. Like what, you know, you're kind of stuck. You have this big install base, but you know, where do you move? So what's interesting with them is, so they started looking at their cost of support, and in particular, they looked at a number of scenarios where it's kind of like your router at home, where they say your router stops working, you unplug it, plug it back in, and it starts working again. So their scenario, what they had to do was, if the machine stopped working, they would, the bank would basically return the unit, and they'd get a new one shipped back to them. But most of those units, nothing was broken. That unit, the hardware was blamed when actually something else was wrong. So they started out around this program. They created a program around decreasing the number of returns. So they got a big chunk of returns because they were able to remotely diagnose what was wrong, remotely repair it, suggest a fix or solution, number one. But then what happened afterwards, and we found this other pattern where once they had that system in place, they realized, the banks realized that you can remotely monitor these machines. And they find another use case. So they found another customer within the bank that basically said, look, we have these other needs around corporate security and fraud. So they said, okay, well, if you're remotely connected, can you provide a fraud capability to determine where the machines are located? And they were able to implement that capability and monetize that as an ongoing recurring base. So as a result, you know, they started out saying, okay, well, let me fix this particular problem, but what they ended up doing is maneuvering in such a way that they found a new customer or a new buyer within their existing customer base and able to leverage that and sort of get a new revenue stream. This will be available online. So if you're seeing this online, feel free to say drop me an email if you have problems with your business case or need some help. I'd be happy to share some information or share some guidance there.